here for this session so that we can mobilize all of them together. So I will read out the names and I wanted to see the hands if those who are present here. Ashwin Roy Chaudhary, M. God. Yes. Then Anil Bairwal, Murali Akunnuri from Electronic Master and Measurement System, Department of Rural Development, Andhra Pradesh. Yes. Then G.D. Dwivedi, Urja Mitra, Kanpur Electricity is here. No. Next is Raj Shekhar, Jhansi Jan Suvidha Kendra is here. Not here. Ashish Basnet, VTAX. They must be outside. I'll just check a little while. Jayendra Verma, Rural Roads Maintenance Monitoring System is here. Phonics Software Solutions, I think same. Manish Maheshwari, TXT Web, you are here. Then Citizens Voice, Population Services, Training Center, Bangladesh. I think we'll take 5 minutes. I'll just here they will be coming and they can, in sequence, they can have their presentations. So I welcome the chair of this session, Dr. Shubho Ray. He is the president of Internet and Mobile Association of India. Sir, please take your seat. I welcome co-chair and moderator, Mrs. Tulika Pandey. She is the additional director, Department of Electronics and Information Technology, Government of India. Ma'am, please take your seat. And I welcome Amitabh Singhal. He is the expert jury of this M-Billion. He has been one of the jurors and he will also share his thoughts on the presentations that all of you will make, the presenters. Sir, I welcome to take your seat. So I request the chair to take over the session and can do the needful. Yeah.
Thank you, guys, and welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to this session on mobile governance, basically. We have 9 presentations to go, so I'll be very brief. 2 important points I want to highlight to contextualize this session. One is that the government has already prepared a bill, which is known as the Electronic Delivery of Services Bill, which, you may be surprised, actually imposes upon the government to start M-governance-based citizen services in a time-bound manner for every department, starting from the central government till almost the municipal level. And we are very, very honored to have Mrs. Pandey here with us, who can tell us more about that. That's the first context. And the second context, government is already preparing, they have already prepared a white paper on the delivery platform. So even before the bill has been enacted as an act in the parliament, the government is already ready with a paper and a lot of other work in the delivery model for M-governance services. So this is the context and this is the background in which government is also looking for many services and applications and so on and so forth for their mobile governance services. And this is where the relevance of whatever you guys are doing and whatever the presentations that we're going to see today is. So without much further ado, let me bring in Mrs. Pandey. And I would request her to share some thoughts on mobile governance with us. She has got a list of 9 presenters today and she's going to call them one by one after that.
Thank you, Dr. Shubho. Friends, we already heard our secretary in the morning, wherein he has stated the government's intent and our efforts in trying to be there to support the innovation that you would all bring out. Now, the innovation here would be at 2 levels. One is innovation in terms of utilizing the existing technology that we have and preparing ourselves for the next generation technologies and devices that would enable very free and uncontrolled outreach of services. That's one. But more importantly, a communication, a social sharing that is required in the country. So the ideas do not just germinate from us as innovators, but ideas also generate out of requirements or needs expressed by the citizens of the country. The government's role would be to see that we are able to provision the basic core infrastructure that is required for the next generation technologies. And you already heard the Secretary, so I would not repeat myself. He has mentioned the gateway for the mobile governance. And Dr. Shubho has already enlightened you with most of the efforts that the government has taken. The second important aspect of innovation is not just trying to see to provision those services which are common. So there is a second need that we need to address today. Innovation in how to put this existing technology for citizens. So one is reaching out services, standards. So MVAS is very commonly known to all of us. But is there some other innovative way in which we can garner inputs from citizens themselves? That is the other half that we tend to sort of put on the back burner. So it's always we reaching out what we have developed or what we feel is required. How do we get citizens to participate in our efforts? How do we get their input and make that innovation possible? Because then you will see that you will get much more ideas in terms of what could be done using mobile technology. So I would not want to take more time on this. Rather, I'd be happy to hear people who have very intelligent ideas and innovative ideas. And we have a list of 9 people who would be sharing their ideas with us. But before I begin, we have somebody here from the industry and somebody who has started the National Internet Exchange in India. So somebody like him who has been there, done it, seen the efforts that are required to put things in practice. And welcome Mr. Amitabh Singhal here to share a few words, share a few ideas, and set the agenda for today's presentation. After which I would then invite each speaker as mentioned in the list. So it will be in the same order. We will not change the order of the speakers. Thank you. Mr. Singhal.
Thank you, Tulika ji. Pleasure to be here with you all and sharing the dais with my esteemed colleagues from the industry, Shubho and Tulika, and of course being in the presence of all you stalwarts in terms of the industry players who develop so many mobile applications. I just want to touch upon what Tulika was talking about in terms of innovation. See, I have come from the internet industry background where often we have been debating in the past as well as the topic continues to be of essence even now, is what happened to internet in India. Despite the numbers that we talk about 100 million plus users, making it the 3rd largest user base in the country, in the world for internet. Our per capita penetration still remains very low, and we know that we still are not there where we should be in terms of internet penetration. But the story is just the opposite in terms of mobile. Now, mobile has reached where internet hasn't really reached, but then with the convergence of both mobile and internet, we are probably on the way to reach where internet itself by itself on its own could not reach, right? So the penetration was important, and one of the things that we used to talk about in terms of why internet did not penetrate so far was maybe the form factor of the equipment, the affordability, and most of all language issues, and then there was content issue. Now, when we talk about content, that's the important part I wanted to touch here, and which is probably relevant for this gathering, is that with content development, we talked about the government trying to provide a framework, create a mobile gateway. Okay, so that's the infrastructure development that the government is trying to push. But then, will that be sufficient? No, that's infrastructure, right? But then you need content, you need services, and you need delivery of it. And I think that's where the role of people like you comes in, and which is very important. And that's where content will play the part. And I don't know how the government will want to do that in terms of aggregating all this content and make use of the infrastructure that the government is trying to build in terms of delivery of use of the content to deliver services. And it's just a thought right now in my mind. I am really not fixated on some kind of an idea. But then when I look at some of these presentations, and the content that has been developed, and as a part of the jury, I was fortunate to go through the details of some of these applications, which is coming from both government setups as well as private setups, right? So I'll just touch upon very briefly upon some of these innovative applications that I went through while doing a jury activity. Was things like election walk software, electronic muster and measurement systems, Urja Mitra from Kanpur Electricity Authority, Now, I will not go into the details, but it gave me an idea that, some of these services which are right now localized innovations, being implemented in certain pockets of our country, can they be scaled up? Can they be delivered on a bigger scale, massive scale, across the states, across the country, okay, touch more lives, using the service delivery infrastructure that the government is trying to put in? That's somewhere where the role of the industry and public needs to come together in a better manner than it has happened. So which is where I think Tulika's point is very important, that we need participation. And forums like these give us a chance and affords us a chance to put these pieces together and take it forward. So that's what I have to say right now. I think one of the things that we need to do is we have 9 presentations and we have limited time. One of the things that I would like to kind of emphasize upon here is to try and respect the time so that we can finish on time. And most of the request is for all the presenters to please restrict the presentation to about 5 minutes. Come with the important points. Okay, the jury has been deliberating on all the presentations before, so we have had an opportunity to go through all the presentations. So this is more for sharing, but please do share the main points without going into too many details, so it will help us to manage the time better. So with that, I would kind of give it back to the chair and start by inviting.
So Tulika will read out the rules for you.
Well, it's well said. The only one point that we should make is we're all here to exchange ideas and information. So instead of being a rote method of one speaking, the other listening, let's just make it a little more interesting by making it interactive. I hope to hear a lot of innovation in terms of new devices coming out, smarter devices coming out. From a mobile phone, we may start looking at a phone, an iPad, and a laptop and everything mixed into something which is easily accessible on a rolled off paper or silicon sheet where we can use everything and project the picture on any form, and that's where we are growing into. The only issue is when we are going to go to the rural space, are we going to make it as accessible for them, or is it just going to again remain an innovation for the urban and elite?